Welcome to Bench Racing with RTR TV. I'm Dustin Hodges. This weekend we're in Austin, Texas at Circuit of the Americas for the Hoosier Super Tour as we sit down with Matt Round-Garrido, USF 2000 championship driver for Pabst Racing and occasional K-Hill Motorsports F1600 competitor, and discuss language differences between English and American, why Ricky Gervais is so amazing, and much, much more. This week we're brought to you by K-Hill Motorsports, racing and preparation experts, club racing, vintage racing, pro racing, and more. Are you ready to start your racing career and be the next champion? Or do you just have a burning desire to drive a car from your childhood? 60s and 70s F1 cars are really, really cool. Visit khillmotorsports.com and give yourself the K-Hill advantage. And as always, MIR Raceline USA, custom driving gear and team gear, 100% handmade in Italy. You know Italians make great stuff. Custom sizing, embroidery, and more at the best prices you will ever find. Look better than any of your competition. Visit mirracelineusa.com for more information. Hope you enjoy the show. All right, so Matt Round-Garrido, back again for more F1600 action. Won the sprints last year. Congrats again on that. And fast this morning, apparently. When you knew where the track was going, right?
Yeah, so first, obviously, doing 1600 K-Hill seems to be my way of learning tracks at the moment.
Yeah, man. You know, full-time USF ride.
Yeah,
but
full-time USF ride.
This is practice.
Yeah, so, and obviously this is more just preparing for that than anything else. So, learning the track, and it's a quality track, so.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was really good to be
You
here.
like COTA?
I absolutely love it. I think, you know, it's got a bit of everything. The elevation starters, I'm a big fan of tracks with elevation, like your Mid-Ohios, your Road Americas. I'm a big sucker for those sort of tracks. But also, like, this has got a very European feel to it. That being said, you know, because of the elevation, it feels different to, say, Silverstone. And that really does add another element to it for me. And, you know, the high-speed sections and then technical sections. And then also, like, the complexes are, like, really complicated because the track's always, like, you know, widening and then getting tighter. So there's a lot of different theories on best ways to get around. So just kind of got to try different approaches and see what works and what doesn't.
Well, I guess your theory this morning worked out.
Yeah.
You're on pole by a few seconds.
Yeah, so obviously it's a bit unfortunate that, you know, people like Misha and Bob aren't here racing like they were at the June sprints. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you win against, does it? Or who you quicker than.
Man, there's guys that come in this class all the time that are IMSA champions, Trans Am champions, you know, it's, I mean, Bob Perona is an IndyCar driver coach.
Exactly.
You know, like, there's a reason that they want to run this.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of an irony to it, because he's my driver coach this year.
Yep.
So, and we were out testing at Sebring, our first bit of USF testing, and I was saying to him, like, oh, come on, don't you want a rematch? And he told me he'd try and get here, but clearly didn't make it in time, so, you know. Oh well.
Yeah. So you liking how many teams have you driven for in USF now?
Too many. You
think you found a home now?
Hopefully. Yeah. That's the plan.
Yeah.
The thing is, you know, I like the process, the way that they work, and I like the way that they go about their racing, but the bottom line is I've still not raced for Pabst. That's who I'm driving for, by the way.
It's a good point, I guess.
Yeah. So, so you know, it's the results that matter realistically. But that being said, they don't just come. There's a process to get there, and I understand that. And I feel like I learned a lot last season. So hopefully, I can now keep developing myself, work together with these boys at Pabst, and we can bring home some silverware.
That's still a good goal, man. Yeah. It's they've got a good track record, that's for sure. I mean, definitely. You know, they know what's going on over there.
Definitely.
So, what's been the biggest, like, change or transition, or what's the biggest difference, I should say, between, like, racing over there and racing over here, like racing in Europe or England versus the States?
Honestly, like, the on-track stuff is quite similar, but it's just like little things. Yeah, you know, like our language is different.
Right.
We both speak English, but we don't.
Yeah. Yeah, we were joking about that this morning, that you needed the British translation version of the subs, so you know, we read the track limit part. Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, I missed that memo. But like, even just little things like like I always say, understeer back at home is called pushier and stuff like that. But even just like I wear quite skinny jeans, and someone goes, "Oh, those girls' pants." I'm like, "Mate, what are you on about? You can't see my pants." But like obviously we call pants what you call underwear. So I'm thinking like, what, does he think I've got like pink knickers on or something? What's going on? Has he got x-ray vision? But obviously he's just doesn't call them trousers like we do. So
Yeah.
you know, it's one of them. But at the end of the day, like, it's a small hurdle. It's not like I'm speaking French.
Yeah. So you mentioned the push versus the oversteer understeer thing. Like that used to be a NASCAR, like oval track versus road racing thing. But even in a lot of the USF stuff, that push is more normal.
And even like if you listen to the commentators out here, they'll be like, so for me, like, say in my head, someone will go up the inside, and I'm like, right, he's gone up the inside. The commentator's like, he's gone down low. I think like down low, like, well, if it's negative camber corner, like, then it's a pie, isn't it?
Yeah, like that's
you know?
that's definitely an oval term.
So that for me, like, confuses me, but at the end of the day, like, we can still get the job done.
Huh.
And if anything, it's just improved my American accent. So, you know, there's a silver lining here, really.
I heard you were practicing that yesterday.
Yeah, last night. Yeah, at the bar.
How'd it go over?
No, pretty good. I'd like to say so. You know, it's not often that it comes out, but
you sound like Daniel Ricciardo trying to do an American
you reckon?
accent.
I don't know.
Oh, that's great.
I say I'm quite inconsistent with it though. Like, I don't know what happens, but I get like possessed by some sort of ability to be able to speak American. And then I'm like really good, but other times I'm not so good, put it that way.
Well, it amazes me some people that can do that, especially singers. Like you'll hear people, like British people, like they can't.
No, I agree.
Like it's I've heard of people that are like Russian that don't even speak English, and they'll sing. They can sing a song in perfect English.
Same in Spanish.
Like,
in Spain, actually. So obviously I'm half Spanish, so I spent a lot of my time in Spain growing up. I'd like very much see myself as got Spanish culture in my upbringing, you know. And that being said, like I'm more of a Brit, like because that's where I grew up and everything. But do see myself as also Spanish, and it's the exact same there. Like they'd be like hello, and then like they might sing like, well, there's like two exceptions, but they'd be good singers and they sing like an English song, and it's like they were born in London or something. You're like, what? But they're like they're like Barcelona. They can't speak like barely any. Yeah, like
I don't know how people do that.
Even stuff like their accent, that actually makes me laugh. Like the Spanish speaking English, I'm not sure what it's like with the people coming from South America if they have it. But I've heard people say like they want egg or something. They're like ech, because like the G's are like that noise, obviously. So stuff like that. But yeah. So
dude, the accents are cracking me up. One thing that really blows my mind about the accent thing is like, for some reason, there's a new trend that everybody wants to try and pronounce the cities, like, well, Americans do anyway. Like, there's a lot of Americans want to try and pronounce like European cities or Barcelona's the worst one, and Ibiza, because it's like in English.
See, so okay, sorry to interrupt you.
Ibiza.
Yeah.
Like
so I was
like, okay, that's how you say it in that language, but like that's not how it's pronounced in it. You know what I mean? Like if you're, but
in Spain it's
Barcelona.
In Spain it's Ibiza.
Right.
Where we go Ibiza. So like literally, like when we go to Spain, and like obviously Ibiza, you go with the lads. You're not with your family.
Yeah.
Let's be real, we all know what we're doing. We're getting up to no good. And like, I love like just playing with the locals, because like we'll rock up into a shop and like obviously if they hear like someone go Ibiza, then they're like, they hate it because we're like butchering like obviously a name. And then I'll just turn and start speaking Spanish, and I've got a very Spanish accent when I speak Spanish. So that's what's different when I'm over here. If I try to speak Spanish to someone, they're like, yeah, they don't understand me at all.
Well, I think, isn't that like the Spanish-Mexican thing? There's a big difference there, right?
But
like
also, like, say I was testing with Youngcost at the end of last year, and they're very Argentinian Spanish. That again is completely different.
Right.
And you'll hear someone, I had a mechanic last year for a couple of races called Marco, and he was Colombian. Now, and I had a teammate who was Venezuelan for a race at Road America, and the Spanish is like, it's all over the place. So, you know, it's just different everywhere, but that's the same
dialects, I guess.
Yeah. But you know, even within England, even within the UK, like, you know, Scottish, Welsh,
Oh, yeah.
Irish, Northern Irish, and then obviously within US as well, like that's what you'd know more about.
Oh, yeah.
But everyone speaks differently, so it's just the exact same in Spanish.
Oh yeah, somebody from Boston and somebody from like Birmingham, Alabama, cannot have a conversation together. It's
That's
almost
the
two
thing.
different languages.
Yeah. So, and say, I always think, like, out here, and I guess it's because I'm less used to it, I always think that all the, like, say, the accents here are quite a lot closer to each other, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But back at home, I always think that ours are, like, so different. Like, if you go from my house and you drive 30 miles west, or not even that maybe, or like 30 miles east, 30 miles south, 30 miles north, it's like 4 complete different accents.
Well, it's always amazed me that like South London
Yeah.
and Wales.
Oh,
But is it like, is it 300 miles maybe? 200, 300?
maybe
Something?
200, yeah.
Like, you drive 200 miles in
But-
America. Like, I mean,
yeah.
I'm 100. My new shop is 180 miles from my brother's house,
Right.
and they're both in Tennessee,
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah.
the people speak almost exactly the same there. You know,
That's
and
the
it's,
thing, like,
the-
I was driving, I drove to my mate's uni, or college, if you want, last week.
I'll just put translations in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
to, you know, keep it, keep it rolling like that. It's on, don't worry about it.
Okay. And down in Bath, which, like, for me is quite far down south.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, fucking hell, that's a right long drive, that. And sorry, I'm allowed to
Oh,
say.
fuck yeah, dude.
Oh,
Dude.
fuck it, right.
No, dude. Last week I had these 2 kids on that are
Yeah.
the race car drivers. They said the word retard probably 15 times.
Okay.
They dropped F-bombs every other minute. Like, it does not
I'm allowed
matter.
to say the C word.
Oh yeah, dude.
Really?
Yes. That's one of my favorite words in the world. That's why I love Ricky Gervais so much. Because
He says
he'll
cunt
actually
so much.
say it. Like,
Have you seen?
his thing where he talks about he doesn't want to have kids because they'd all be little Hempstead cunts.
Yeah.
And they're like, these are my little country friends. Like, it's great.
Because he's so posh now, yeah. That's so funny. Have you watched Afterlife?
I think so.
But one thing, and I was saying this
think so.
to Briar last night. One thing I really rate about Ricky Gervais is it's one thing being an American comedian. Like you, Kevin Hart. I think that he's a great example. Like, yeah, funny, but very American.
Yeah.
Like a sense of humour. And then you got some people like, let's say the In-Betweeners TV show. I don't know if you've seen that.
I have, yeah. I stumbled on it on Netflix or
So
something, yeah.
that's like very British sense of humour.
Yeah.
So some American might not really understand it. But Ricky Gervais, he is so adaptable. You can tell if his content is for the American public or for the British public,
Yep.
and he does a good job of fucking.
Like, I've
delivering
seen
it as
some of
well.
his stuff that was
Yeah.
like older stuff that was before he
Yeah.
kind of got known, and it's very
Yeah.
different than.
It's so British.
Yep.
But back then it was 100% British, and
Right.
now he does more American stuff, I'd say.
Yeah.
But say Afterlife was a bit more of a British thing.
I think I've seen that now that you say
Yeah?
that. Like, I've seen a lot of his stand up.
Okay.
Like,
No, it was a TV show. It's on
Oh.
Netflix. Yeah. Anyway, like in
I'll
the
have to go look
in
it
the
up.
trailer, he's like walking past this park. Oh, sorry, this playground, like primary school playground. So you can imagine lads are like 7 or something.
yeah.
And he's like talking to his little nephew, and then this fat lad goes, "Pedo." He's like, "You are." He's like, "You're a pedo." He's like, "I'm not a pedo. If I was, you'd be safe, you tubby little ginger cunt." Like this poor lad is like about to start crying.
Oh,
It's
that is
like-
great.
Just said it to the fucking little kid. It's like, what?
Well, and that's one of the things that I actually really appreciate British comedy for is that
Yeah.
they're not afraid to go places with
No.
stuff. Like, there's certain
Yeah.
things in America that have become off limits to comedians and stuff.
Well, say like on TV,
you can't
here,
say jokes
you're
about
not allowed
this and
to
that,
show
you know.
like penises
Yeah.
or vaginas on TV.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that like everyone just whips their dicks out. on
No,
telly,
but it's like if it's part of a, it's
Yeah.
it's not as big of a deal.
Say In-Betweeners, for example. There's like one scene where he walks out and he's like doing this modelling, like catwalk, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you walk out on the stage.
Yeah.
And he's like in some speedos and his bollocks hanging out and he hasn't realised. And you see his real, like the actor's real bollocks, like on the screen, and like all the crowd, and they actually used for this series like a real crowd, people that didn't know he was going to do that.
no.
They didn't tell any of the audience. Everyone's like, "Oh my god!" Like, and he's there just like
But
trying
see,
to
like
keep a straight face.
that's funny. It's not just whipping your dick out for no reason.
Yeah,
Like it's part of the
yeah.
scene, it's part of the joke. It's
Exactly.
not grotesque. It's
Yeah.
not sexual.
And obviously the lad's
it's like just funny.
The lad's like keeping a dead straight face, thinking he's like fucking
like
Britain's
Mr.
next
Model
biggest,
guy. Yeah,
model like exactly. So it's like it's all on him. But,
dude, that's epic.
yeah.
Yeah, we can't do anything now, man. It's like, and then the new thing now is
Like,
everybody's
South
getting
Park, for
offended
example.
about shit now. You know, like
Yeah,
that big
but
thing.
But like that's what I'm saying. Like South Park though, like that is
Oh, they do it.
rude boy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is proper rude boy.
Like I love it. They don't give a fuck,
Like,
dude.
mate, that's the thing though. I used to, when I was like, so I'd say year 8, year 9, so you're like what, 13?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and that was like, I watched South Park every day after school.
Mhm.
I'd be up till like midnight just watching South. I'd get in at like 4 and just be watching South Park all
Yep.
day. Just like, fuck, I used to love it.
Like I look back and I remember at one point when I was little, like my mom didn't want me watching The Simpsons because it was
Yeah.
like bad for kids,
I remember,
you know, and like
yeah.
and now I look at like in South Park is like talked about like it's normal, you know, and
Yeah.
that's like way beyond anything Simpsons ever even thought of. Like, but it's I mean,
Like South Park's another level completely.
he ate a kid.
He fed
Yeah.
a kid his own parents.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
And then he starts crying, he's licking up his tears. It's like, what the fuck?
Like there are no limits on
Yeah.
that show, man.
That's what's so good though, because
Yeah.
there are no limits.
Well, and they don't care. Like they
No.
were like the
No.
one when Chef quit, the black character Chef,
Yeah, yeah.
like he quit because it
Never start.
was because of Scientology. Like that, of all the things that South Park has ever made fun of, and all the culture things and this and that and all that, that guy happened to be a Scientologist. They were gonna do an episode making fun of Scientology, and he said, "I quit."
No way.
It was it's a famous guy, famous singer.
Fuck.
I forget who it was, but
I never even
an
realised
old
that.
dude, yeah.
No way.
Like, well,
Hey kids.
just now, The Simpsons, the guy that does a poo
Yeah.
says he's not doing it anymore.
What?
It's racist.
Right.
Wasn't racist the past 30 years you were doing
Yeah.
it, apparently. He said,
Yeah.
"Thank you, come again."
Like now the bank's full.
But
of
now
it.
it's,
Yeah.
now the bank's full, you're right, yeah.
I don't know if I
Like, it's
see his
weird.
point of view.
Like, I get that it's a racist
world is
character.
changing, though.
Like, yeah, it's racist,
Like-
but it's,
Have you ever watched any of the
there's
old,
a reason that it's, all right. Nobody just woke up in the middle of the night and was like, I'm gonna make a 7-Eleven character that's Indian and he's gonna say, "Thank you, come again." Like,
No.
where'd you get that idea from?
Yeah.
Like every 7-Eleven
Yeah.
that's ever been around?
I mean,
Like,
we don't have 7-Elevens in England, but we've got like what are they called? Like we've got, I guess, like little spa shops and like
yeah, just little
like small petrol stations even,
yeah,
you know.
like
And yeah, I mean,
quick gas stations. Yeah,
it's like, I know it's stereotypical and that. Like, don't get me wrong, sometimes they're white, but
yeah.
like
You
more
can base.
often,
There's
yeah.
and that's what a lot of stereotypes may be positive or negative. You can argue either way on anything like that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they all come from a certain place. Like
Yeah.
you don't just make stuff up out of nowhere and it become a stereotype.
Well, I'll tell you what, if someone actually gathered up all the stats,
yeah,
then I think I'd know where I'd be putting my money.
yeah, exactly.
Like, put it that way.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's, I don't see why the all of a sudden in 2020 you're gonna get a
Yeah.
conscience. You know.
But I mean, it's just even stuff like, I don't know, just everything's just like mega sensitive now, isn't it? And
It's
it's
crazy,
like,
dude.
you
can't
can't
say
say this, you
anything
can't say
anymore.
that, you can't
Yeah.
do this, you can't do that.
Like,
And well, even say with racing drivers, like to bring it back to racing a little bit, like you see stuff where people are like, oh, drivers can't be who they want to be nowadays, but like what people don't realise is that they are.
yeah.
Yeah, mate, like all the good drivers are.
They
like,
just don't talk about it.
but no one fucking knows. It's
Yeah.
all top secret.
Yeah.
It's like,
They're smart.
yeah, and like, don't get me wrong, I'm not exactly saying that they're all like fucking
Yeah,
nuts, but
I mean,
like,
they're
you look
not.
at James Hunt, and like, yeah, fair play, he was like quite a rude boy, but like he was just open about it. Like
Yeah.
he'd come in, like have a fag, have a pint.
Can
like,
you imagine if somebody tried to be like him today?
Oh, no chance.
Yeah. No.
Do you realise how much I want to be? How much I wish I could just be like that. But there's just no way, like,
You
because
just roll into the
yeah.
track just like with 2 strippers on your arms,
Mate,
like
that'd
no
be awesome.
sleep,
Yeah.
half
Just
drunk
like pick them
still.
up at 5 a.m. from fucking the strip club, Spear McRhino, whatever.
Well, I mean, but you're right. It's like, and it's not even you, because it can be anything. Like you remember
Yeah.
the story about Connor Daly when he lost his ride a couple years ago, or last year, or
No,
years ago? Some reporter dug up a story that his dad said something in pit lane in the 60s.
No way.
Yeah. And you know, his dad's, I think they're Irish. Okay.
Yeah, they're Irish descendants.
It was like the first year or two his dad was in the States.
Yeah.
He said the N-word, like about something or about a part or about like something, and it was like at the time it wasn't taken in anything. It was no big deal, and apparently, like, the reason I say it was Irish because apparently there's something like it doesn't mean the same thing in
oh really?
Like there's a disconnect.
Okay.
Like it's not that it doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
But some reporter in 2018 found that clip, and he lost his Lilly diabetes sponsorship.
No.
They yanked it from
Fuck.
Luckily the Air Force stood by him, and he's come through, and now he's got a full-time ride and everything.
But I mean, that's just
insane.
dead unfortunate, isn't
like,
it?
if people go back and dig up shit my father said in the 60s, I just lock me up, dude. Just let's go. I mean,
for it to be, it's just his dad, isn't it? I mean, don't get me wrong.
You.
I know his dad was a big helping factor. And
I mean, Derek Day is a big figure and all that, but it's like, it's not you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
exactly.
It's one thing if, you know,
he wasn't even a sperm cell in his bollocks yet.
Right? Like, you weren't even alive. Like, what the hell? Like, I can't even. When I read that story, I was like, "This is getting insane.
Yeah,
this is too much." At this point.
Stuff like that.
Like, I don't understand how you can take it to that level. And people are nuts, man. But there's always somebody. Well, I say there's always somebody with a camera. I'm the a-hole that's always got a camera.
But at the end of the day, like, say, everyone can take offence to something if they choose to, can't they? Ultimately, like.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I could, but I just choose not to. Yeah. You know?
Well, and that's, I think, part of the problem is we're getting to the point where we're rewarding. If you're offended,
if you spit your dummy out,
you're now special. Yeah. Like you know, and you get attention, and you get
I deserve
this
compensation.
You might get an interview on CNN, or you know, you might get somewhere in your life. It might even advance your career if you're one of these offended people. I mean, that David Hogg kid from Florida that was. His school he was involved in a school shooting. Well, he wasn't, but his school was. But he immediately was like one of the first kids to get in front of the CNN camera and talk about how, you know, guns need to be pulled out of all of America. We need to get rid of this, get rid of that. He's got a blue check on his Instagram and Twitter now.
No way.
Like, 18-year-old kid, you know, like got a full ride to Harvard out of that shit. Like, like, and they're already investigating it because apparently he doesn't have the grade. Like, he's like a 3.0 student, and there's all kinds of shady shit going on. I don't know what any of that
means because
like 4.0 is like straight A's.
Okay,
so like kids that get to Harvard have like a 4.6 GPA.
Oh
like,
shit, so they're like A stars.
Yeah, like you're taking weighted classes, you're doing all this other shit. He had like a 3 point something and didn't do well on the tests either and all this, but like
he's like a flat B student.
But because there's all this, you know, he's the new darling and he fit their narrative. They were like, oh, we want him, you know. So it's like I said, he was.
And you get that in racing as well, where people suit it more, you know, and they might not be the best pilot for it. But
If you fit into a team, you fit a sponsor, you fit a mold, you fit, you know, whatever it is that they're trying to build a program.
And at the end of the day, to be fair, like for sponsors, I can understand that because if you're trying to target a certain audience, you know, you might need a certain doorway to that audience.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah, you know, if you're trying to, you know, sell, I don't know, something that's, you know, millions of dollars Ferrari polish or something, you're not gonna like sponsor a kid from Birmingham, you know, like.
Well, England.
Or Alabama, either one. I
was like, hang on a minute. Yeah, right. Interview's over.
Both ways, actually. No, it's. I mean, I'm thinking. You know, it's like you're gonna look for the kid that you know has got the Miami connections and the London connections.
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
like you're right.
Toronto's, LA's.
Or, you know, if I'm a spray tan company and I'm looking to sponsor a race car driver, like I'm gonna go find a girl.
Okay. Yeah.
Like. That's the marketing side of it, you know, and you're right.
I know, obviously it might sound sexist, but I think girls are very marketable. Like if I was a sponsor, I think I'd be sponsoring a girl. Because girls, like, there are some that are very quick.
Yep.
Some that are very quick.
You put the money behind one that's actually talented and wins races, and she's female, she's going to get all the attention in the world.
I think the problem is, people see one that's decent, but there's plenty of decent lads, you know. Obviously it's dominated by lads, realistically. But like, you see a decent lad and not everyone's like hyping about him. You see like a decent girl and like everyone's hyping about him. And then what's happening now is when that one like you're crying wolf, aren't you? And then when the one like seriously talented girl pops through, and there are some good ones already coming through, and some about to come through, then like everyone's going like, yeah, whatever, we've heard this before.
Yep.
So that's the issue I've got with that, because, and that's like the W Series thing. I think that's an amazing initiative, and like I think it's a great prize. But at the end of the day, like what you've done there, you've segregated the boys from the girls.
Yep.
So isn't that what you were trying to avoid in the first place?
Yep. Like you said, I completely agree with you. I love the fact that somebody's trying to get more women in motorsports, the initiative, the thought behind it. But I wish they would have just taken all that money that they're spending, all that Richard Mille money, or whatever it's on every car and every suit. So I'm assuming he's putting a lot of money in. And just put them in F3, put them in DTM, support, create an F3 or an F2 team that's all female.
That's just taken
and
away
build them up into F1.
Yeah.
Because my worry is that you're going to have a female Formula One. They're going to create a WF1. That's what I'm worried is the next.
Okay, I understand.
And then you're completely separated.
So almost like how in football, soccer, there's the Premier League and the women's.
Yeah, well, I mean, in America we have the WNBA.
Right.
We have the LPGA.
Mate, have you seen those things in like Brazil, where they got like the bouncy castles, but like about the roof, and then basically what they do is they like get like all baby oil all over it, and then girls play football in just bikinis. Have you seen that? That
sounds like an amazing sport.
It is so much fun to watch. And they're all like rolling around. Here I am saying I'm not sexist. I'll tell you what. That seriously though, a sport like that can make so much money, because there's not a straight bloke I know that wouldn't love to watch it. If you're denying it or not, it's fun to watch.
Absolutely,
it's fun to watch.
That's got to be awesome.
It's awesome. It's absolutely quality.
That's epic.
Literally,
dude.
makes you want to take the sport up, but with just me and the girl.
I think they have a different word for that.
Yeah. So we put some cameras there, they got a different word for it.
Lord. Well, yeah, if you put cameras up, then it's not illegal anymore, because then you're doing porn. It's not prostitution. That's the clause.
Prostitution illegal in America?
Most places, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Obviously, at different states.
It's illegal almost like everywhere except for, I think, certain counties in Nevada.
Really?
Yeah.
We're going there.
Like all the counties that surround Las Vegas.
Yeah, I can imagine Las Vegas.
Like Las Vegas is illegal.
Oh, it is?
But the counties that are around it are legal. Yeah, it's a weird deal.
Because in the UK, prostitution's legal.
Yeah.
But you're not allowed to advertise it.
Oh, okay.
So, you wouldn't know about it.
Yeah.
But, in fact, say, have you ever heard of Kushmini?
That name sounds familiar.
He's a really, really good pilot. He, came third in British F3 2018.
Oh, okay. That's how I know. That's why I know it.
He did Formula Renault, the new European Renault last year. I think he came like 4th or 5th, so he's a really talented lad. Me and him, we're quite good mates, and we were ringing up different brothels to see what all the prices were. But that's the thing, you can just ring up and you're like, yeah, so how much for this, how much for that, and they're like, yeah, so that's £20 extra, £30 extra. Like, fucking hell,
Hey, man,
I never went through with it.
Makes it easy if there's just a board on the wall.
Yeah, but obviously it's not like you're gonna fucking put on the TV and Cartoon Network's gonna finish its show and then be like, right, fancy getting laid?
Call 1-800.
Yeah. Sex now for $10.99.
Dude, I just read a story the other day. There's some place in Vegas that's getting in trouble because they were running an unlicensed sex doll brothel.
So you have sex with
the sex robots.
But hang on a minute. So would they clean them after each customer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, I didn't. There's not a lot of details in this story.
So do you want to share one?
It was weird. I was reading, but apparently, the guy. It's supposed to be just a retail store, but the guy put a room in the place where you could try, quote unquote, try them out, and it basically just ended up being people were just going there just to try them out. And but the sex doll, they called it the sex doll brothel, and I'm just
that's a bit like Rick and Morty when he had sex with that light.
It's weird.
Did you ever see that episode? Did you ever watch?
Yeah, I love that show,
mate. And then he has that fucking alien baby thing, and he's like Godzilla.
Dude,
that show is like, I can't, yeah.
It's quality, isn't it? It's that,
Yes.
it's mint. I love it.
And I love the fact that they actually, like, shoot it, like, I say shoot it live, they shoot it live. Like,
Right.
you know, they record it, like, just, like, we're recording this.
Okay.
Like, they have a script,
Yeah.
but they just kind of, like, if you watch the show, once you know this and then you're watching the show,
Okay.
like, little things will jump out. Like, they'll get into little back and forth,
Yeah.
and it, like, some of it just, they'll, like, stumble on their own words, and then it's
Yeah.
like, just shut up. And and like the characters just walk away, like, and it kind of plays like that in the studio. Like, I'm like, this is awesome, you know? Yeah. Like, I can't imagine, like, but yeah, no, that show's epic, dude. Like,
I love that.
I heard somebody say one day that Rick and Morty or Black Mirror. Have you ever seen that?
I watched one episode. So basically, a girl I was seeing made me watch one episode. It wasn't the first one. What it was because every episode is different, right?
Yeah, like,
It's not-
way different.
yeah,
Like, they're
it's
not
not
even the
like a
same
series or
characters or
nothing,
nothing.
yeah.
Yeah. But like, somebody told me that Black Mirror is just Rick and Morty for people who are trying to be pretentious. Like, that it's the
Right.
same kind of thing, but
Okay.
Black Mirror's like
Yeah.
fancier and more,
Maybe,
you know, like
real life. Like
not a
cartoons,
cartoon and yeah, all that. I'm like,
Because I saw the one where it was like a dating app, right? But then you could see how long your relationship was left.
oh yeah, and it like ended your, like, it
Yeah.
actually, like, it shows when your relationship was over
so
and shit.
you'd like look, it'd be like 4 months, but then obviously you're like, well, what's the point?
yeah,
Like, I don't want, because like,
yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna have like.
You know it's gonna end. Yeah, it is weird.
If it's like one night, then you're like, okay,
That's
I
cool.
know, we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
But then if it's like 4 months, you're like, mate, like, you want to waste 4 months, like.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Right.
that's not just, yeah, you're not wasting it. You're wasting time.
Well, a little bit, yeah.
Kinda.
You're not like. I don't know.
I mean, you know, most relationships probably lasted about that long anyway,
Yeah.
but, you know, it's like, well, so.
Well, it's like the ones where it's like 12 minutes.
I don't think that's a relationship. A 12-minute relationship.
Then I become acquaintances.
Dude, that's like the whole, like, didn't we date at one point? Gotta call it that.
I felt like I knew you inside out.
So do you stay over here all the time, or do you go back and forth?
So funny you say that because obviously I've just signed with Pabst,
yeah.
and last season I was driving for Jay Howard at the start of the season, and I was staying with his like main guy, Joe Hidalgo.
Mhm.
I was like living in his apartment with him, and then as soon as I moved teams, then for every race I was just flying back and forth, and I think that's like a huge disadvantage. I think being based near the team and, like, you know, getting close to the lads and being involved in it, and ultimately, you know, I want to be an IndyCar driver. Don't get me wrong, like, there's a lot of stuff I want to do racing wise, but IndyCar driver's like the dream, you know.
Yeah.
And so for that to happen, I think you've got to be committed 100%. Now, for that, I think I've got to be based here. So actually, as soon as the race on Sunday, I'm flying on Monday morning up to Wisconsin, and then I'm looking around with Augie, who owns the team.
Yeah.
And he's helping me look for like some apartments and that. Yeah, so I want to be like Milwaukee way, like more in the town, like then like out in the sticks, because they
Yeah.
are like out in the sticks. And
Oh
like,
yeah.
Yeah, you be in there.
Yeah, it's on the
Yeah.
family. The shop's on where the family farm is.
Yeah. So
Is he showing you the old stills and stuff?
the old stills.
Yeah.
No, what's that?
Yeah.
What is that?
Where the old breweries and stuff up on the farm.
No,
Like, there's
never.
I've been told. I've never been there, but I've been
Oh,
told
okay.
from people that somewhere on the farm there's like the original, like, barn with like original equipment, like old
Oh, okay.
brewing equipment and shit.
Old
in there.
school.
Like, yeah, like
Fuck.
from great grandpa and shit.
Oh, right.
Like, I don't know that
No.
if it's gone now or
Maybe
whatever,
I need to
but-
like win for him, and then he'll like show.
Yeah,
me,
like
or
that's like a
something.
prize you get. I don't know. Like I said, it was. I remember, like, this was back when I was racing, like back in the '90s and 2000s
Yeah.
and stuff. Like I remember hearing somebody saying they went up to Augie's and in some barn he had all like a whole bunch of original brewing equipment from like 1800s and shit.
I've
And I
never
was
heard
like,
of that, mate.
that'd be cool as shit to
Yeah.
see. You know, like, yeah, it's just in a
Fair play.
barn. I'm like,
There is one place like just up the road from his, and there's like a garage. Oh, I say garage. I use that word loosely. It's like, I don't know, like maybe like a storehouse, I guess. I don't know. But there's like loads of boats in there, and literally I was like looking in there. I was like, mate, like, fuck. I like love boats. I do. Like, oh.
He's got a warehouse full of boats.
It was like, yeah, not like on his land, but like just up the road. But I think that's like where they all keep their boats, because it's all lakes there.
Yeah.
So then in the summer, then obviously, mate, at the minute it's so cold there.
Yeah,
that's the one thing. Like,
I lived in Wisconsin for a couple years when I was like 13, like in Milwaukee, and
yeah,
dude,
mate,
cold.
That, like, luckily for me, race season, because I don't want to be like living there in like December. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's when like I want to be at home, like spend time with my family, like my mates and that. But like definitely like race season, and like obviously now it's Feb already. But I want to try be there next month, realistically, like March, because that's when it all kicks off, and then be like giving it full steam ahead. Not that I'm like not taking it seriously now, but I'm still at home, and I think it just puts you in a different mindset. But
oh, of course, just being in it when you can kind of focus, and that's your
even
your
when
job.
like, I mean, it's got to be treated like a full-time job.
Right.
That's the thing. So. And I mean, say a good friend of mine, Chris Lamar, runs a karting team back at home and done a lot of work for him. But I've basically just gone, I can't make any promises, like I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Because I need to focus on this full time.
Right.
And he was a driver himself, like he understands. But you know, it's rare. Like there were lads that I raced against in karting that were mega, like really talented kids. And if they were like here as well, I know they'd be doing as good a job as me. You know, I'm not saying they'd be better, because I truly don't believe that, but I think they'd be like as good as me. And but you know, they didn't get those opportunities, so all we can do is sit here and say this and that, and like what if and coulda, shoulda, woulda, the rest of it. But
this business is a lot of luck.
Yeah, ultimately I've been lucky in the sense that I've been given an opportunity to race at this level, and so I think, why not make the most out of it?
Well, I mean, everybody has some luck in their racing career, but when you get the opportunities, you have to perform. Like, you can't. It's not like you can just be lucky and
that's
not
the thing.
be fast.
That's what, like,
you know,
people say about like Lance Stroll, like, oh yeah, he's bought a seat and all that. It's like, yes, he has.
Yeah.
But that being said, his dad has only given him an opportunity. Right. Like, look at when he was in F3. Yeah, fair play. He might have had the best kit. Yeah, fair play. You might have had the most testing.
Somebody's always going to have that.
Yeah, but he still won, didn't he?
Like, well, and it's not even just him. I mean, you can look. Most of the guys in F1, they didn't get
even
there
Hamilton
with nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody started investing hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in these people at a young age.
It's just that it happens, especially now more than ever. There'll be parents.
Right.
But that's just the way of the world.
It's,
you know.
Yeah. There's so much more money floating around now, and that's so many more people have money. There's so many opportunities for people to make money in this world now than there were.
So, do you know who Martin Donnelly is? No? Okay. Have you ever watched the Senna movie?
Yes.
Okay. So now Martin Donnelly was an F1 driver.
Okay.
And have you seen the big crash? I'm not sure what track, but where there's then a lad like with his seat on the track.
Oh yeah.
That's Martin.
Oh Jesus.
Okay. So I know him. I'm not going to say I know him really well, because that's not true, but I know him, we're like acquaintances, and we were having it was a few of us, but we were having a meal together, and like, you know, he got to F1, but he didn't have a wealthy background.
Right.
He got picked up and he got lucky. Like Johnny Herbert, same with him.
Yeah.
You know.
It did happen a lot more back in the day.
Look at Scott Dixon. It's like, I know now it's like 20 odd years ago.
No, but you're right.
It's the same, and his would just happen to be a little bit more, so he sold to the devil.
Yeah.
You know, but I'd still rather do that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember meeting him when he was his first year in Indy Lights.
Right.
98, 97, something like that. He was at Gateway in St. Louis, and it was like my second year racing, and like I was looking for Atlantic money.
Yeah.
And we were at Gateway, and like I met him, and he was trying to, you know, put deals together and this and that, and he was at Indy Light, and that was, you know, like the year before he signed all that crap with Chip, you know. But it's like,
obviously now he's laughing, but
at the same time, like,
but
you look at the career he's had with Chip. I mean, how many? He's the only guy that stayed there. I mean, Chip, the guys run 2 or 3 years with Chip, and he throws them out the door. Like, you got
look how he is, but you can't deny how good he is.
Freaking master.
He's he's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's relentless as well.
Yeah, and his teammates never are quite there.
And like, if you look at his teammates, he's had some world-class teammates as well.
Oh yeah.
Like Rosenquist, for example.
Ganassi hires. Yeah,
he doesn't fuck around, does he?
Yeah.
He gets like the big boys in.
Yep. And Dixon's one of the few that I don't think has kind of leveled off or even gone downhill after he won Indy. Like you see that a lot. A lot of guys, like, they get that trophy and it's almost like they lose that drive.
I think the same with Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously F1, IndyCar different, but because you could argue, F1's easier. But no, I don't think that's true at all.
I don't think it's true. I just think that if you're in the right car, it's a lot easier to have. There's a much bigger separation in the teams than there is in IndyCar. Yeah,
I agree. But either way, I think he's still improving all the time, every year. And that, like, for me, like, as a young driver, that's like inspirational to see, because like, obviously Schumacher was like my big hero, because that's what, like, I grew up around, and like, so many people hate Hamilton, and like, to be fair, like, I'm not too bothered whether someone likes him or not. I'm not gonna say like you gotta like him. I think everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
When you take a kid from Stevenage and you give him $500 million by the time he's 30.
Yeah.
He's gonna buy a purple jet.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen. Yeah. Like, he's gonna go hang out with rock stars and shit.
See,
like,
he's actually, like, people think he's like really out there because he hangs out with those sort of crowds, but I think he's quite introvert.
Yeah.
Like, he's not like in anyone's face, is he? Nope. But he just does himself and like.
Well, I mean,
and that's fine. Like, at the end of the day, like, he's religious, so
have fun. Like,
yeah. And mate, he is having fun. Trust me.
Yeah.
He must be having all sorts.
But
like,
honestly, though, like,
we are, even us two together, we're like rookie numbers, like, compared to him. Mate.
Honestly, though, I think Verstappen's making him look bad in that game.
To be fair, mate, I reckon Verstappen's like. Let's be honest. Every Dutch girl.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
What, like
I don't think every woman in England wants Lewis. You know what I mean?
Like, no, you're right. Yeah. Every woman in Holland wants.
Yeah,
Max.
would be. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just like how every woman in America wants you, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, man. You know it.
It's just how it is.
Yeah, dude. Like,
Don't
I can't even imagine. Like, yeah.
Hate the game, not the player.
Like, I can't imagine being that young and that rich in Monaco.
Fuck.
Like, it's got to be ridiculous.
Fuck.
Like, it's him and Ricardo.
Mate, I've actually heard stories. Yeah, I'm not going to say who through, but I know a couple of people who know him, and they tell me stories of, like, say after Brazil 16, he got a fat bonus.
Oh yeah.
Put it that way. Yeah, because look at, like, Red Bull. It's all they're sponsoring the energy drink.
Yeah.
Mate, when you're doing like ridiculous moves and looking like an absolute hero.
Yeah.
And which, to be fair, he was that day, wasn't he? He is most days, to be fair to him.
Oh yeah.
Then, like, you're doing your company proud.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting the logo on TV. That's what they want.
That's the whole
Millions
point.
of views all around the world.
Yep.
That's one thing I've noticed. No matter who you speak to in the industry, whether it's oval people in America or like karters in Spain, whatever it is, anyone in England, like, everyone knows about F1. F1 is ultimately, people say it's the pinnacle, which it is technically, like, in terms of technology. I think as a sport, in terms of like the competitiveness, maybe not so much, because you're never going to see like your man Russell winning races, and he's like mega.
Yeah.
Like, Russell's a great example. I remember being in karting, sitting on the fence watching him, and like, if he was in a Mercedes, he would be doing a good job, mate. Like,
yep.
I'm not gonna say he'd be beating Bottas, beating Hamilton, whatever.
No, but he might after a year or two. Like, you never know with that development program how much better he gets. Like, yeah,
he's mega,
and it is. You're right.
Mega.
Like, it's and it's hard to see that.
That's what's poor about F1.
Yeah, and like, I feel that, like, guys like Hulkenberg that never really got a shot.
Yeah.
You know that.
But then the thing is, like, if you look at Perez versus Hulkenberg.
Yeah.
Right. Let me ask you now: Perez or Hulkenberg?
I'd take Hulk.
Okay, so would I.
Like I've never thought Chico was that great.
So would I. But like if I look at it like this now, because I've looked at it at like different perspectives. Every chance Checo, not every chance, but like 9 times out of 10, Checo's had a chance to have a podium. He's taken it.
Yeah.
Do you know how many podiums he's had?
It's probably half a dozen or more.
Well, he's had like seven or 8, something like that. Do you know how many Hawks had? 1. He's never had 1.
Never?
He's had 0.
I thought he got 1.
He was in F1 in 2010.
Jesus.
Yeah. Took a year out in 11. 2012 to 2019 was in F1. I'm not being funny. I'm not saying that like it's fucking easy to get. I'm not saying that at all.
Well, no, but like you have to be in those opportunities where the crazy shit happens.
He's had opportunities where crazy shit's happening.
Right.
Look at Germany this year, in the fence.
That's true.
He should have had a podium.
Yeah.
Look at Brazil 2012 was the one I remember the most. He like smashed into Hamilton.
Yeah, you're right.
You know? And not worse than that. You could say that, but he put himself in that own position because he was leading, you know.
Yeah.
And he spun by himself.
Yep.
Yeah. In the infield. So.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, yeah, and yeah, fair play. Look at Perez. He was leading Malaysia that season, 2012, but then he made a mistake, but then still ended up P2.
I think my issue with him, the reason that I look at Perez the way I do is because of, I think they put him in F1 too quick. That year with McLaren, I think kind of. Oh
yeah.
Like,
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, like that's you kind of.
You know, he was in F1 until like 2010, 2011. But then 2012 he had a really good season. Was a bit hit and miss. But then when he went to McLaren in 13, I think he got really unlucky. Because the year before was like their last year success, so no one was expecting them to be poor, and then they were poor. And I'm not sure if you remember, but they did winter testing. You know, McLaren were P1 by miles.
Oh yeah.
And then they realised that they'd put like the rear springs in the front, something like that. The front springs in the rear. Yeah. So then when they did it back right, they were really slow.
Why didn't they just leave it?
It's illegal. It's against rules. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So everyone's like high-fiving each other.
See, like that's one of the big things that bothers me about F1 is like the rules have got like they have this mentality of but then, we need to tighten the rules to make things cheaper.
But the thing is,
costly.
If that was all right for everyone, then they'd have been last anyway. So everyone else would have been doing it.
True.
It's only relative.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But they do. They have a lot of weird regulations to try and cut costs in F1 that sometimes I think they have the opposite effect. Like the ban on testing. Like originally, the ban on testing was great. Like you can't just take these rigs and go like because
it
costs.
They've got like £100 million simulators.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and there was some article I was reading where one of the Ferrari guys actually said like it would be cheaper if we could do 50 test days a year than have that stupid thing in our shop. Yeah. And it's like because they're just going to keep spending money. They're going to spend money whether.
Well, they can.
Like
because at the end of the day, money can provide advantages.
It's going to win you races. Yeah. So, I mean, how much longer before you have literally just a computer running 24/7 simulations? On the sim by itself, and
no, they do though. They have like when they work out the probabilities for the strategy, they work out like 1 million.
Yeah.
Like something ridiculous.
That's why I don't understand how Ferrari can fuck it up so bad.
It's like, mate, it was 20 on the grid.
Like on a regular basis, they have this.
What are these? The MX-5s?
Yeah, the Miatas, and I think half of them. I think some of them are the MX-5 versions.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
I bet that's a good race.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to, even stuff like that. I'd love to have a go in.
Have you watched some of the MX-5 Cup races? They're pretty cool shit.
Not like properly. I've watched like nobody sat down and watched the full race, but I've watched like highlights and stuff. Like clips.
There's not much I think I've watched a full race of other than maybe F1 and like IndyCar.
Really? Okay. Going back to the testing thing though, like IndyCar has this thing where I think it's 2 days a year, and then or maybe 4 days a year but you get 2 extra days if you put an Indy Lights driver in.
Yeah.
But like, and I think that's genius because then like look, VK, Askew, all that lot all got tests in IndyCar last year
because the team wanted data.
Yeah.
Like of course you're gonna find a kid and give him a ride. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's like great idea.
Yep.
I think F1 should be doing the same. I think Super Formula should be doing the same.
Well, F1 used to do that where they
have a young
like the test driver had to do Friday practice 3 or something like that. Like it was a practice session that was
they never had to.
They did.
Yeah. but then that's down to like sponsorship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so say so and so sponsoring so and so, but
Right.
but they're sponsoring a team and doing so.
Yeah.
I'm saying so a lot.
So they get that in there.
Yeah.
And I get what you're saying.
So
yeah,
like
you're right.
we need our driver to drive,
Yeah.
because otherwise we're pulling the plug. That would be like Kubica next year at Alfa Romeo.
Now they don't get any time.
Who?
The test drivers.
No, not real testing.
Like they
But
call them the
they're like
reserve driver
simulator
basically now.
experts. Like,
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you should be an
Big time.
iRacing champion if you're
Yeah,
a third driver on a F1 team.
Yeah.
That's all
They
you do
must
all day.
Do, like ridiculous.
Yeah. Have you ever done any of that iRacing stuff or any of the online stuff?
Not a lot.
No.
Not a lot.
No. I can't get into it, man. It's like
Yeah.
there's no sensation of speed.
I don't know.
I
Like
can't transfer it
Yeah.
over. I
I
always
don't
miss
know.
braking points. That's why I don't know.
I convinced my own in the pub. Nah, like I don't know. I think it would be a good laugh. A lot of people are into it, and I think it's good. But I just don't think that you should treat it like testing for the real thing.
Right. I think it's okay if you've never been to a track, you want to learn left and right, like which way the
Yeah,
track
yeah.
goes. Yeah.
What's also good is that it's
you're
good
not
for
gonna-
adaptability.
Yep. Yep.
Know?
But yeah, you're not
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
get
gonna
down
follow.
and lay down track record laps on the $20,000 simulator. Like
Yeah.
you got Ferrari sim, that might be
Yeah.
a whole different conversation.
Well,
Like, those are a little more
the
intense.
proof's in the pudding, isn't it? There's people like sim racers, and they can be good,
Mhm.
but they're not like. Say there was a lad called Sebastian Job, for example, who won a season in Formula Ford back in the UK in 2018. So the last year I did it, and really nice lad, like, and he was quick as well. But it took him like all season to get quick, and this is what I'm saying. It's like just because he's quick on the sim doesn't mean he was going to hop in and P1 it.
Right.
You know?
Well, a few years ago they did that. I forget what company it was, but Sony took basically the Gran Turismo PlayStation champion and sent him to Le Mans.
Well, they were doing that all the time, weren't they? They did the GT Academy every
That's
year.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
And Jan Mardenborough, the
Yeah.
Welsh lad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and it was that was bad luck because that team just couldn't get out of their own way, but that car didn't seem to want to run very well.
I mean, he got to do like GP3 out of that and stuff.
Yeah.
And like that lad had no money of his own.
No,
It was all.
that was awesome.
But then that's the thing. Like he was rocking up and like P18 and it, P19 and
Yeah.
it. It's like.
And that's the thing, like the skills transfer. But then you see like
But
when
also,
Verstappen and those
what
guys
if
go do the iRacing
What if the car
shit.
was bad though?
Right,
Do
and
you
it
know what I mean?
was.
But
Well,
then,
I don't know about the GP3, but yeah.
But then
yeah.
how does he know?
Yeah.
He doesn't know because he's
Right.
just then knocking his own confidence.
Right.
But then, like you say, he could be doing a shit job. He
Yeah.
might be in a really good car.
And you have no idea.
So it's just
there's no comparison if
Yeah.
you're not coming from somewhere else.
it's hard, it's so hard to say.
Like, but dude, I saw a thing today. Porsche is putting together a deal. They have $100,000 to win iRacing series now.
Stuff
I'm
like that's
like-
happening all the time.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
man. Like.
My one mate, Graham Carroll, he did the Formula E Championship online. He won a test in a real Formula E car. Got to go to Las Vegas, I think, or somewhere in America.
So cool.
Mate, to do then another world final, and the winner would have won 200 grand. So he won the championship, so he got to start pole for the race, but got taken out. But like, mate, could you imagine him gone all the way there? I think he ended up with 20 grand in the Formula E test.
Still.
So
like,
he's still laughing, but you're like, but then you're really crying because you wanted 10 times that.
yeah.
So
Like, that's nuts, man.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine
I know.
like just
and then
like
we're
going
rocking
from a
up here.
computer to a real car.
That's the thing though, we're like rocking up here, and yeah, fair play. You might say this certain event's only a club event, but when we do all the USF stuff, like apart from the end of the season, there's going to be one lad that walks away with an Indy Pro drive.
Right.
Everyone else gets a silver pot,
Yep.
or like a plastic pot even.
Yeah.
That's just silver colour. So stakes are higher, but ultimately, if in that like iRacing stuff, P2 still gets so many.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
much, and like
And
look at
that's
the Fortnite ones as well. They're millions and millions, not just like 200 grand.
I don't even
They're
understand
like
that shit.
millions. It's
Like-
crazy.
I can't.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like your teacher's giving it, don't play video games, you won't make
Yeah.
a living, and then like you could win. And
Yeah,
then
my
it's
whole
like-
life, my mom told me, kept yelling at me,
Yeah.
put down the video game controller and go study so you can get a
Yeah.
job. Like, You know, these
But,
guys
like,
are getting hired as
let's be
millionaires.
honest, who could
to,
foresee
you know,
that would happen?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was reading some article. Like,
But then, like in hindsight, it's like obvious, isn't it?
well, yeah.
Because you're like, yeah, of course they're
Like,
gonna do that.
of course it's gonna do that.
Because that brings more attention to the game.
You're gonna
sells more
monetize
games.
it. Like, of course they're gonna
It's like
monetize
fun,
it and
yeah.
promote it. Like, yeah, duh.
Yeah.
Like,
So it's like,
if the possibilities for once we figured out streaming video online, like without
Yeah.
buffering and all that, like
made it so
it's
easily
ju-
accessible.
Yeah, like like Netflix. I mean, why didn't all of us buy 1 million shares of Netflix when it was
Yeah.
trading at $4 a share in 2008? Now it's at $400 a share, 350 or something. Like,
Right.
millionaires overnight, you know, and it's like we're all idiots, you know.
But
Hindsight, you know. Yeah,
I
you
mean,
look
I
back,
didn't even know
and
what
then
Netflix was back then.
they were mailing you DVDs in the mail. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it was
Yeah.
at that time, you know. And then it was like, but the streaming service made it go crazy, you know.
Yeah. Well, and then that's what took over Blockbusters, and now Blockbusters
Nice.
is. But then that's the thing. That's the thing with business. If you're in business, you're opening yourself up to risk.
Well, you're either at any business is either on it, either growing or falling apart. Like,
Well,
you can't
or-
stay stagnant.
Well, I don't know. I disagree to an extent. I think you could. But
Like, with
but,
what?
I don't know.
Somebody's
going
going
to
to surpass you in technology.
Either way, it's a risk, isn't it?
Of
Because
course.
it's never. If you get a standard 9 to 5, you're guaranteed a paycheck. Do you know what I mean? At the end of your month, you're
Until
like,
that business goes bankrupt.
Yeah, but like obviously all that side, that's not your.
Oh no, you're
risk.
right. Like
Yeah.
you're absolutely right.
Because it's not your money going into it.
My
It's just
for
your time.
years, my dad has. Well, your security though.
Yeah. But all you're
because-
doing is you're trading your time for money.
Right.
That's what you're doing.
Right.
And then once you get a more complicated job, you're then trading your time and knowledge, and that's why then you get paid more and more.
Right.
You know, and
Right.
abilities.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean, there's the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward in anything you do in
yeah.
life. And yeah, my dad has been yelling at me for years that why can't I get a 9 to 5 job? Like, I just can't do it. Like, I love doing the entrepreneurial stuff. I love doing the creative stuff, the thinking stuff. I've always
I'd
done
get
that.
so bored working in an office.
Yeah, dude.
I
I
would
couldn't
hate
do
that.
it. I couldn't
Even
do
like my mates at uni, like the uni's a good laugh.
it. I bet.
Like, but obviously I never like went myself. But say what you said, you're not actually. Yeah, you get like your qualification, but then you've got to then still find a job and stuff. It's not like you're not going to be able to do that for life. Is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
You'll always. Whereas if you become a racing driver, just for example, or football player or basketball player, whatever, you're doing what you love for your career.
Yeah.
If you understand.
Yeah, your education
trying to
is
say,
your
yeah.
career. Like, yeah.
But then that lifestyle, you can maintain that, you know?
Right.
Whereas in uni, you can't. And like, it's too crazy lifestyle anyway.
No, you can't
like,
live like a 20-year-old in college your whole life.
Yeah. Is that a challenge?
I mean, yeah, go for it. Let me know how that works out.
Alright. I'll get back to you in 20 years.
Oh man, like it's crazy. Like I can imagine it'd be fun though. You know, just hang out and play beer pong all day.
Yeah.
And do nothing.
Would be quality.
Like there's people that do that. I guess.
Yeah.
You know, they don't
Well, there's like the reps.
get much in life.
You know, like the reps abroad, say in like the Ibifas and Magaluf and all that, you're getting paid to just party with people. Because you're getting paid to like show customers a good time.
Oh yeah,
You know?
like the
But then like that's the thing, like then you don't enjoy it because you're getting pissed every day.
yeah. Well, it's your job.
Yeah.
And that's anything you do that is a job. If you don't truly, well, even if you do
Yeah.
love it, like
There's
you love
still-
you love
yeah.
being a race driver. There's going to be days
And
where
that-
you're like,
Oh,
fuck this
literally.
shit.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And there's days where like I'm absolutely wank or something's like awful, and you're just like, mate, I hate this. But then that's when you need to take a step back and think, right, this is a bad day. But like my bad days, like some of my mates would kill for this.
Right.
Like literally would kill for
Yeah.
my bad days. So it's like, all right, so fucking get that chip off your shoulder, like calm yourself down, and just get on with it.
I was at the runoffs,
Yeah.
the SCCA National Championships, you know, and we're there for 2 weeks, right?
Really?
Yeah. No, the back in October. Yeah.
That's 2 week event.
Yeah.
Why so long?
It's ridiculous.
Just loads of testing.
Like, yeah. Well, you qualify Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
4 days of qualifying.
Yeah, you get one 15-minute session each day.
Is that it?
Yeah, well, there's 36 classes.
Oh shit.
Each class gets their own. It's not like these weekends where everybody's mixed.
Yeah.
Everybody gets their own group.
Yeah.
So, and then you have a race, either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. One race.
Yeah.
So it could be, it's one of those days, like, because they have all 36 races throughout
The
the
other
weekend.
days you just. So...
And then before that, you're testing for the week before that.
Okay.
So anyway, like halfway through the week, it like.
So why is it 4 qualifying then? Is it your average grid, and then you just start?
Like, yeah, like you go out the first day, you do qualifying, and it's like that's provisional grid day 1. And then it's provisional grid day 2.
It's the best day.
And then it's the best times out of all 4 days, yeah. So they do it that way because it's a
like
national championship, it's a big deal.
Like, that's bigging it up
if it rains on one day, or if, you blow an engine, or,
See, I'd be there rain dancing.
They want to have,
mate.
like, guarantee everybody gets a good lap in, is I think what it is.
Okay.
It used to be only 3 days, and like Monday was another test, but then they were like, well, people are testing the whole week anyway, so whatever.
You can overdo it.
But we were there, and it's like, the one day, it's like, it was nice like the whole time, but like one day it was like 50 and kind of raining one day, and like I'm standing out filming, and I'm kind of cold. I was like, God, I just want to fucking go home.
Yeah.
Like I had that thought for about a split second, and then I thought to myself, it was like a Tuesday or something, and I thought to myself, I have a lot of friends that are like sitting in an office right now, hating their life,
and they're looking out a window at the rain.
Right.
That's worse.
Yes.
That I'd rather be watching race cars.
And like, I'm literally being paid
Yeah.
to watch race cars.
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
That's all right.
Like, quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just shut your mouth. You have no right to complain. You know.
Yeah.
And but you do. You kind of get in, your own world, and you don't think about perspective. If you
even like with the driver coaching, like sometimes you'll get really, really frustrated with like your drivers, and you gotta think, mate. Like, first of all, spot the process. Second of all, I'm here to help their development, and then like, it's like you're here to aid them.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, just chill, mate. Like, fucking, you're racing. Like, you're doing what you love.
Are they upset? No, they're happy.
Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Let's.
As long as like, yeah, fair. You just need to just keep encouraging them, keep telling them what to do, and like, it will get there. But it's like, I think everyone will get that. Like, always, because at the end of the day, it's like, you kind of, and it sounds bad, but you do get used to it, don't you?
Oh,
You get used to it. So.
Well, you get used to anything, and I think that's
I mean, even if you're an astronaut, you probably get used to living in space.
Right. Like it's just things become normal, and that's just
you
how your life is.
Now we'd be like, fucking hell,
my God.
Like, what's going on? Fucking floating,
it's
mate.
like driving a car. We jump. You and I jump in one of the. You jump in that Ford this weekend, and you're driving it. It's a race car, but it's not a fast race car.
Exactly.
I
was actually,
I take a 12-year-old Carter and throw him in that thing. They're gonna freak out,
Because I was thinking, and you know how I don't really fit at all in the car.
Yeah.
So I've got all these bruises, mate, and like where my tail should be, it's like really bruised, and my shoulders are really bruised because my shoulders are too broad for the frame.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it's got a tub, I guess, but it's not like carbon tub, but it's smooth. It's like frame, so it's like small contact patches onto my body.
Yeah, and you roll on them.
Yeah, and then especially around the long corners, you're like absolutely fucking yourself. And even my back, like I'm up against the aluminium sheets or aluminum sheets, so like all that's like bruised. But and I was thinking, like, the reason why this is hurting whilst I'm driving round is just because I'm not getting adrenaline from it.
Yeah.
And if this was like Indy Lights and I was hurt, like, I had this pain, I wouldn't know, because I'd be like so like on adrenaline.
Yep.
But that's only because the first time I drove the Formula Ford was when I was 16 in 2016. Then 2017 did a full season. 2018 did the full season of British Champs and all that, Northern Irish Champs. And then last year, 2019, did USF, which is even quicker.
Right.
And then I also did some Indy Pro.
Right.
And then I was testing Indy Pro as well. So, like this year, this year I've only driven USF and Formula Ford. But still, like, my brain is Indy Pro speed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and like Indy Pro feels slow.
Yep.
So it's like Formula Ford feels really slow. That's why it's just a bit like, it's not boring because it's still fun because you're still like drifting everywhere because it's technical. But you're like a bit like, you get into the end of the straight and you're like, come on, like fucking let's have a corner now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But then that's why, because it's so tame, that's why you're not getting adrenaline. That's why the pain hurts even more. So just a bit unfortunate the way that the McGows are so small, but
Yeah, I was talking
It is
to
what it
these
is.
Carters last week, and they were
Yeah.
telling me that one kid broke a rib in the middle of the race and didn't notice it.
No way.
Like, he was doing a 2-hour stint in a
That's
car,
crazy.
and he cracked it, broke it, whatever you want to call it. But
Yeah.
like, we're sitting there talking, and he's like just in massive pain. I'm like, what's wrong with you? He's like, I don't know, I cracked a rib or something out there. And I was like, out where? Like, it's so normal to the karting world for that to happen that they're just
did
like.
you ever do much karting?
You know, no, I never
Fuck.
did, dude. Like,
Did
it's
so.
like I get it now. Like I've gone and
Mate.
done some since,
Oh
and
my
it's,
god.
I cannot
It's
wrap
like
my
getting
brain
beaten
around
up.
it.
It's
dude.
like getting beaten up. That's the thing that like I don't understand. Like at the minute, I'm a lot fitter than I was when I was 15. I'm a lot stronger than I was when I was 15. I'm like same size realistically. I was like 6'1", 6'2" at 15, but you know, like strength and that, you kind of fill yourself out, don't you, as you grow a bit older. And I look back and I'm like, you know, I would be able to do in the KZ, you know, the gearbox 125. I could easily do like 2-3 days, full days, with like 7 sessions,
Right.
and like easily. And now, mate, I go out first session, I'm like struggling to breathe.
Yeah.
And what it is that I just feel so bruised. So it's not actually like a fitness thing. It's just that it's being able to cope naturally under those strains.
Well, you get
know?
used to that.
Yeah.
Your body kind of builds up a little
so like
bit.
back
and,
then,
like, you know,
you probably could have just twatted me in the ribs like really hard.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yeah, whatever. Now you hit me in the ribs, I'm like, ow, like,
Yeah.
hey, what are you doing? Like, you know. So that's the difference. But karting is so good for that because it makes you a little machine.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't realise. And I remember like mates at school going, oh, karting's not a sport. You just sit there, push pedal. You're like, mate, fuck, yeah, it is.
that is a workout and a half.
Not
man.
only is
Like,
it a sport, but it's like a proper rude boy
they
one as well.
beat you up. Yeah.
And like, if you make a big mistake, I had a driver, a little cadet lad. He would have been 8. He was quite a good driver. I won't say his name because he's not one of my drivers anymore. But he made a mistake at a track called Shennington, hit a wall, literally probably hit it like 30, maybe 40 miles per hour, and snapped his wrist. Like the wrist bone broke.
See, and that's the kind of weird. Like I
And
see,
like, mate, he
these,
was
like,
fine. He was just like, oh, yeah, it hurts, but like.
See
and
what I'm like,
yeah.
what the-
And the doctor's like, mate, you can't drive. He's like, nah, come on, please. And the doctor's like, no, you can't drive.
No.
Yeah, and he's like, come on, like, please. And like, this kid's begging the doctor to let him drive. Just an 8-year-old lad. He's begging him to let him race. And the doctor, and like, I mean, this one I've got to side with the doctor. It's like, I don't want my driver going out there and hurting it even worse.
I see that a lot, man. Like
But-
these kids, like
Just absolute
when they
machines.
roll them over and their like neck is
Yeah.
at a 90-degree angle, and the cart's on top of it.
So I
Like,
rolled
What?
when I was 9 on the first lap of a race, and I got up, and you know the stub axles, yeah?
Yeah.
So like obviously big metal pins.
Right.
I landed with that right like on top of my arse, like just above the arsehole, like almost like where your tail should be. What's hurting today? And literally, I just got up, tipped my cart back over, got in, drove off.
You almost lost your virginity, is what you're
Like,
telling me?
yeah, I was close. And it was less hairy back then, so it would have gone in. So, anyway, you just get up and you drive on, and then like everyone is lit. Like I got into the Parc Ferme, obviously I came fucking a millionth from first. Like I was like really shit because I've just rolled it on the first lap.
Right.
And everyone's like, does that hurt? And I was like, not really. And then like 10 minutes later, I'm crying my eyes out because it fucking kills.
Yeah.
But like, if you do that now, you're thinking, yeah, I don't know if I want to get back in. Like that really fucking hurt. But back then, I had none of that. Just like, actually, that's it. So I had a mate, Matthew Hopcraft. He's now in the RAF,
Okay.
which is our Air Force.
Yeah.
And we used to be like really good mates when we were younger. And I really wanted to beat him. So what I was going to do, as soon like I'm in midair and I'm thinking these thoughts. As a 9-year-old, midair, landing on the kingpin, and I'm thinking, right, if Hoppy's in the wall, or like if Hoppy's like not here, and he's like carried on, I'm like pretending to be dead and causing a red flag, so I get to go back in the race and beat him. And then like I get up, I look around, see he's in the wall backwards, and as soon as I see that, I'm like, right, I'm not letting him beat me. So I hop back in and just drove off. That's like this thing, like we were like really good mates, but I wanted to beat him so bad.
Yeah.
And I just think that's a healthy competition.
No, it is.
Even like now as an adult, you know, well, kind of an adult.
You're about halfway there,
Yeah.
I think.
I'm like a real life adult, but I'm not.
I look like one.
I sound like no, I don't.
Like my ID says I am,
Yeah,
but
my fake one.
you know, I'm not too sure yet.
Yeah.
Oh man.
My American ID says I'm 21.
It says I'm 21. That's
So,
great.
sound like a good number.
That's epic, dude.
Yeah. But yeah,
Well,
that's
shit. I was wanted to stay on here and chat with a little bit, but it looks like Dudley's getting ready to go out and start his race.
that. He's already gone.
And you know, I probably got to go to work and go film his race. So
Another hard day in the office.
another hard day in the office.
Let's
I
get the
know.
violin out.
I gotta whine. I gotta go do work. You know, I gotta film race cars for a living. But yeah, man, I mean, we've been chatting for an hour, so shit, that's cool.
Hour 8 minutes. Hour 9 minutes.
Yeah, man.
That's like a nice round number.
That's plenty of time. You know. No, it's I do appreciate it though. Thanks for
no worries,
you know,
man.
telling us some racing stories.
It's been a good chat. Good chat.
Yeah, man, I love getting it together. Just you know,
Yeah.
trying
We were
to do
talking
some
like our
races.
opinions for a lot of it, weren't we?
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. I like. That's the thing. Like, I want more than racing shit. You know. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like.
The thing
you
is,
know.
like, you could just go, "Oh, how was your race today?" Oh,
Yeah.
like, yeah, lap 2, like, made a mistake here, did that, did this.
Yeah.
But then that only applies for like the near future, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Then no one cares after like 20 minutes.
Right. Like if it's
So-
just like your life and your opinions and
Yeah.
your like you know cool stories and what you want to
Yeah,
do and
yeah.
stuff, like people can listen to it 2 years from now and it
Exactly.
still makes sense,
Yeah.
you know. So
So it'd be good. Actually, that's a fair point. Like 2 years from now to like listen back to this would be like interesting.
yeah, that's the idea, man. Is you know trying to just another way of
Yeah.
giving drivers a way to kind of
So
catalog their careers.
yeah,
and,
where
you
would I
know,
be? I'd be
so,
Indy lights.
You know, like yeah, in a few years you look back, that video you win in the sprints, you know, you
Yeah.
can be like, holy shit, look at it, you know,
That like drift
how
at
far
turn
I've
7.
come, you know.
Oh, so Bob Perona
Yeah.
who obviously came second to me. At the
Yeah.
You know, he's my coach now
Yeah.
for Pabst, and really good to be fair. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I really like his
Yeah.
coaching because he goes. What I always like is I don't like the coaches where they're just like, yeah, you're doing a good job, like well done. I like the ones that like challenge me like in every way because it's always. And even like I don't care if it's like some random Billy. If he says something, I'm gonna listen to it.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it's a different perspective.
Yep.
Fair play. A lot of the time, someone like that, you might like take it in, and then straight away like I disagree and
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
discard
Whatever.
it.
Yeah.
And, like if it's too stupid, but
Yeah, you never know when you're gonna
Exactly.
get another idea
yeah.
or
So
something.
then like
you know?
someone might say something, and you're like, fuck it, like yeah, why not?
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
You know.
And then like, and yeah, it's rare, but sometimes it's better, and that's why I like different perspectives, and that's one thing Bob's really good at. But what was I saying about him?
I know we started with this video at turn 7 at the
Oh
sprints.
yeah, so he was saying we were talking about the June sprints race. He was like, "Oh, I'll tell you what, we went through turn 7, you went sideways, and I thought, here we go, he's going off now." And he goes, "But then you didn't." I'm like, "Yeah, mate."
But then you didn't.
The thing is, like, I remember going through there in turn 1. And I was like, fucking fully on it. And I just thought to myself, I reckon next lap, bring the minimum down a little bit.
Oh wow.
Because I had a bit of wheel spin on the exit curb.
Yeah, I
So I
bet.
was like, yeah.
You
That's-
were on it, dude.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, so the whole race, like, think about it, it was like, what, 20-minute, half an
Yeah,
hour race,
it's
whatever?
real short.
But then, like, that's the one key moment that stands out for me,
Yep.
you know?
Well,
I remember, like,
you jumped out.
Yeah, key moments. I remember like first 2 corners. Like, so I remember like getting the jump and then hooking up turn 1 because I didn't even go defensive or anything. I like just got a good jump, so I went full wet line, and then turn 2 did the exact same. Checked the mirror, had like 3 car lengths. Then I was like, don't check the mirror again, and then just drove off. So
Yep.
it was just it was like one of them.
I was amazed when you like that was lap 1. Like you're coming
Yeah.
through turn 7, and I was like, where the hell did everybody else go? Like they're way behind you.
Oh, we smashed them all off.
Wow.
But then that's the thing, like it's always like really cool to like say that.
Yeah.
So yeah. No matter
And that's a
what
big
happens.
event to do that on, man. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not like
That's the thing. I never realised how big it was, and then you're doing like your slow down lap after the races, and there's like actually quite a lot of fans.
yeah.
And you're thinking like, wow, because I was kind of getting a bit used to like the IndyCar stuff of like where there is a lot of fans.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I'm thinking like, yeah, Formula Ford, like back at home, it gets nothing. Festival gets some, not many.
Yeah.
But like all the British champs and that don't get barely any.
Yeah.
Well,
they've been that race has been the same weekend for 60 years.
Yeah. Well, I won the 64th running.
Okay, so 64 years in a row, they've done that exact same race, the exact same plays. They promoted the shit out of it,
really?
And people in the area, they know it, and it's like a regular weekend camping
I never
trip
knew
for
about
people.
it before, and then I was at Pegasus, the shop, the big shop. I'm talking to the lads there, and I'm like, yeah. So I did the June sprints thing, and they're like, oh yeah. Like everyone knows about it, like in the local area, you know.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying that like fucking your average man from New York's gonna know.
No, I mean if you're not a race fan, you don't know about it. But anybody
in
involved in
the
motorsports,
American community, in the industry, it's actually like, it's known.
Well, it's some people actually view it as more of a accomplishment than winning the SCCA runoffs.
Really?
Because the runoffs is such a crapshoot. Because you have the 4 days of qualifying, that race where people from all over the country show up.
That could be almost like a bit of a...
It's in a different
like
track all the time. Like, yeah. Well, here's an example. One year I went to the runoffs in Formula V. Okay.
Yeah.
We were there for a week and a half. I broke the track record by 0.7 of a second.
Wow.
Okay. Was on pole by 0.8 of a second. Just destroyed everybody all week
hope
long.
You won the race.
Right? No. Okay. This is my crapshoot. I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'd never driven in the rain. Okay.
Oh no.
This is my 3rd year racing. I had no rain experience.
That's what's crazy. In America, you barely ever get to drive in the rain.
Like I never drove. Like
I
got lucky. Like it just didn't ever rain anywhere I went. You know. And we ran like 20 weekends a year, dude. It was crazy.
That's really unlucky.
Well, it was. It turned out I thought it was lucky. Turned out I had no rain experience. So we're there the whole week. It didn't rain at all. And then race day, I wake up, it's pouring down rain.
Yeah.
I had no rain experience whatsoever. I led a field of 54 cars to the green flag with guys that are in their 40s and 50s behind me that have been driving their whole life.
They've definitely done some stuff in the way.
They're like, I can see it in their eyes, like they're coming, you know? And
but as soon as you're in that mindset, you're fucked.
I spun off at turn 8 at Mid-Ohio, bottom of the hill, the right-hander.
That's
the bottom of madness. Like the end of the straightaway is the right.
4.
Oh yeah, when we ran it, they ran the Keyhole. The chicane before turn 2.
Okay,
so you're right. So
sorry,
you're right.
Sorry.
Same corners, just different numbers.
I did the IndyCar weekend.
Yeah, I did. They got
That's
rid
a
of
cool
those
track. I like that
things.
track.
Well, I love Mid-Ohio. Yeah, but no, I spun off there on like the 2nd lap.
That's hard in the wet though.
And watched 54 cars go by before I could pull back on track. Yeah, I finished 7th.
That's not bad.
I learned how to drive in the rain.
That's the thing, like straight in the deep end, aren't you? So you're having to learn on the fly there.
I figured it out.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, like so it's obviously like if all things being normal and the fastest driver winning, like it was pretty obvious. Like okay, you should have won the damn thing. You know. So that's why I think some people view this.
I mean, that's the thing. Like I've just put it pole now for this race later. But you know, if I go and miss a gear at the start, then I'm in last, aren't I?
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta. There's
one-off races are always coming.
I think there's different sections to it. Testing is all about improving yourself and learning and improving. Then you get to quali, and it doesn't fucking matter. It's all about 1 lap performance.
Just figure it out.
And if you can do 1 lap good, doesn't matter if you're slow every other lap. Doesn't matter as long as it's not penalised.
Well, yeah.
You know, but so. You know, little examples, but that's all that matters. Then race is all about execution. So, and that's what I say. Like the race meeting itself is all an execution, because there's different. You break it down in different bits. Like the test is like improving yourself, and like with the USF stuff, like the Road to Indy, you can't really try anything on the cars.
Yeah.
So yesterday we had enough time where we could have done, but the car was pretty mint. To be fair, it was the same Road America. Didn't change a thing. I went half a turn forwards on brake bias. That's all I did all day.
Wow.
That's all I did. And
that says something.
I
guess we know how to set them up at the shop.
So but
wow.
But you know, that's what like testing is for. And then quali is just the 1 lap, and then races win it.
Survival.
Race is like you got your racecraft at the start. It's always going to be a bit of a dogfight when you're in like good grids.
figure
and
it
then,
out.
And then when you like all starting to stretch out, then that's consistency. And then you're gonna have little periods where racecraft comes back in, but then it's all about consistency and being strong-minded. So you got to be good every corner of every lap. That's why winning races is harder than poling it.
Oh yeah, for sure. So let me ask you this before we jump off here.
Okay. Last question.
As far as like the karting versus racing,
The karting versus
the cars.
Okay.
Do you see? What age do you think is the perfect age to leave karting? Like, because I've heard some people say like,
I don't think there is.
if you stay too long and start learning weight transfer, like it can hamper the cars.
Everyone matures at different ages.
Okay.
Everyone starts at different ages.
That's true.
But you know, I don't. If you said what age does everyone hit puberty?
That's a good point.
Do you know what I mean? Everyone's different. Everyone's at different mental stages. So
you think it's more of a?
I think it's when you're ready.
Okay.
If you look at Verstappen.
Yeah, well,
Verstappen was 15.
Yeah.
Winning the KZ World Champs.
Right.
It's like, what? Like, mate, like, you could be one of the best karters in the world and struggle to do that at 25.
Yeah.
I don't care how good you are. That is proper stuff.
Right.
You know? So it's
Good
like,
point.
yeah, he's ready. you know? Like, if you can do that at 15, you're ready. And then everyone's like, oh, yeah, it's time for F1. It's like, no, mate. Like, you should have seen what he was doing. Like, what he did in 2014 was, like, impressive. But I would say less impressive than what he did in 13. But people disregard it because it's karting, you know? And it's not F2 or GP2 at the time.
So do you think that there's a benefit to the higher level of karting?
Yeah, I would say so. But you can get that from lower levels to karting as well.
Okay.
So say for me, I never raced at an international stage.
Right.
I never got the opportunity. I think that I wish I had. Do I think I'd have been better for it? Not really. Because I had so much experience in karts that I was pretty handy by the end of it. If I wasn't, I'd have been a bit of a useless wanker, wouldn't I? Okay. So, you know, like I've had it where I've raced against world champions in karting and beaten them in karts.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like everyone has their day.
Yeah,
don't
that's
they?
true.
And it's just my day, unfortunately, was on a smaller stage. So,
we all have
true.
that.
It's true though.
Yeah.
So, but that's life. And obviously, if you've not got the opportunity to do the Worlds and the Euros, then how could your day ever come on those days? It's impossible.
Yeah.
But then the thing about those is that normally the Worlds is just one day, one final, a bit like the runoffs.
Wow.
And then the Euros was like normally 4 rounds. You know,
I can't even
whereas
imagine,
the British is normally like 7 or 8, so you get more days, you know. And then club is obviously normally like 12. So it's like you got everything. It's like a pyramid, and then there's just more chance of that happening. But if you never do it, you're never going to win at it, are you? Look at that. It's like yeah. So
you're not going to win if you don't go wrong.
But yeah, the highest level. I think the highest level here in karting at the moment is good. It's good.
Yeah.
Like a few years ago, I didn't think it was as good. At the moment, I think it's doing good, and I think it looks like it's on the up. I'm not too close to it, but it looks quite good. But then there's a young lad who's just won like all the American stuff in junior, Freddie Slater.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I've known him since he was 5.
Okay.
Like we live like really near each other. I driver coached him a little bit. Like literally, it's like crazy. But now he's rocked up here. But in the but then in the like European scene and British scene, he was in cadets, which is like the one below.
Okay.
And like he was very good in cadets, and even in the British stuff in 2018, so obviously the year before. But he wasn't quite the full package yet. So you know, you could argue that the level out here is a bit lower, but it's hard to say because every day is different.
Yeah.
You know, every day is different. So
it's so weird to figure out, man. I'm talking to some of these people, and it's just like everybody has opinions on different stuff. And, whether to run karts till you're 18 or get out when you're 12 and start running Fords.
Everyone's different. If you're like not very good in a kart, I think you should probably stay in a bit longer.
Yeah.
But then some might say, well, what's the point? Because you need 2-3 more years to get good in a kart, where you could be learning cars.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, they are different. But it's like, if you're naturally good at the racecraft stuff, but you're slow in a kart, I don't think it matters, because to get fast in a car is completely different.
Right.
But the racecraft is a bit similar. It's still quite different.
Oh, the racecraft is definitely, you definitely have to have that mentality, and you learn passing maneuvers and stuff like that. But Yeah, I guess.
But then the
should,
actual,
like the
then
driving
the execution is different.
Yeah.
So, you know, I might go, right, I want to lunge this guy, but then the way you go about that's actually quite different.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
one of the guys said, like, the biggest thing that if he had one thing to tell karters when they're moving into cars is that you can't brake at the apex. Like,
Oh no!
like
Yeah.
in the, you know, you get so used to the car, you can just like throw the thing around all the time, and it's
Well,
like,
that's the thing, you got
you
to
know.
realise you've got momentum now.
yeah,
So,
Yeah.
but then you'll have it where you might be starting P7, P8, even in the single seater stuff, and like the cars, you can barely see the track. That's how you feel as a karter.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, I can't see where I'm going. Whereas in karts, like you've got like bird's eye view.
oh yeah, I guess
So you
got a
can
point.
easily like see everything.
Yeah.
Whereas like, say I then went to Saxos, you know Citroen Saxos, yeah?
Mhm.
And then obviously I'm just seeing car, I'm like, oh, I don't know where I am. Literally, I was at Alton, it's like P8, something like that. First, like I think second ever day in the car, qualified P8. I was like, that'll do, out like 20. So I'm like, okay, that's alright. Like, I'm just kind of like driving around. And but I was like, mate, I can't see anything. So obviously then I'm thinking, right, let's not go crazy.
Yeah.
And then I had my day where I went, fuck it, let's just go, and then I crashed. So, like, but then you got to do that to kind of learn. So if you don't, then I wouldn't know. So
No, you're right.
then I got to Formula Ford, and I already knew that, and then luckily I never had any of the huge ones. But
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
They've been a little more expensive
Yeah.
than the Ford. Than
exactly. That being said, I do have my reputation, but I'm just an aggressive driver. That's how I am on purpose.
you know the whole reputation thing. People get that, and it's like, you know,
Yeah. But
like, are you winning? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shut the fuck up.
yeah. At the end of the day, for me, it's like I enjoy the hard racing more.
Yeah.
So I think that's more fun.
Well, that's what, it's funny that it's always the guys that are, you know, at the top of the podium that
Yeah.
people are always saying it's
Yeah,
oh, he
he's
drives like a
dirty,
fucking
yeah.
maniac, or you know, or
It's like,
well, why don't
Yeah.
you beat him?
well, mate, we're not
You know?
we're not on the fucking like A42, are we? Like we're on a racetrack.
Yeah, everybody doesn't get a trophy here,
Yeah,
dude. Like,
exactly.
you know.
Yeah.
So.
So.
All right, man. Well, I gotta go film Dudley.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I enjoyed it, mate.
Awesome. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
talking with us, and
worries.
thanks for the stories.
No worries, mate.
And you know, we didn't get to any of your stories about all the British
Thank fuck.
women and all your American women, but we're out of time. So lucky for Matt, or I should say that he won't have to out himself with all his situations in the world. So thanks again, man. We'll see you. Good luck this afternoon.
Cheers, mate.